ready for lesson 4. This is going to be bars 17 and 18 of Debussy's Arabesque, and we're just going to walk through some quick ways to practice this. So first off, we saw this theme earlier. So the opening theme, if you remember, is now we're adding an upper voice. Alright, so there's a couple different ways you can practice this. You can do fancy fingerwork to play that upper line legato by start with a 5 and then legato to another finger and switch back to the 5, legato to another finger, switch back to the 5, legato to another finger, switch back to the 5, and you're going to be doing that while playing inner voices in your right hand. Feel free to do that. I'm not going to cover how to do that here today because we're going to go for the lowest hanging fruit and we're just going to use the pedal. We've got a pedal. It's wonderful. Use the pedal to hold those notes. So assuming we're using the pedal to hold it, because look at this beautiful thing. So this is what it would look like of how you'd play it if you're using the pedal only and with no expectation of this fancy finger work. So look at that, you're going to be really conscious of your pedal changes. That's the key here. So what we're going to do is you're going to depress the pedal down. You're going to have a bit of overlap and then change the pedal. Same thing, a little bit of overlap, change the pedal. Overlap, change the pedal. If you do that a little bit faster, the overlap is not quite as obvious. Pedal change. And that's the way you can make the melody sing out and not get all tensiony in your hands while having to play inner voices loose and holding the upper note in your right hand. What we're going to do now is really focus on the smooth passover between the hands. That's what makes this part sing. I mean, we've got the upper singing voice. You're on that. But we're going to really make this smooth. So just to refresh of the chords in this section. So if we're looking at them, it's A major going up. And then we have G sharp minor coming down. Then F sharp minor going up. And then E major going down. All right, so that's exactly what we're going to do here is all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, with little pauses in between, because I really want you to focus on making it as smooth as possible. One way to do that is to roll your hand and then roll it coming down. So that makes sense. You're doing a bit of a ball, like almost like you're going over a ball with your left hand as you go up and then with your right hand coming down. And listen to where these two, you want this thumb to match the tone of this thumb. If even a little bit softer. You don't want it to stand out like that. So keep trying that. Really listen. This is your time to just focus on this one movement up and then down. Another way to make this both more musical and it helps people sometimes actually do that smooth passover, thinking of shaping. So what we have is a wave, and in music you've got this wave going up and the volume will go up a bit. And then as the wave goes down, the volume will come down a bit. And so you make this little like up and down motion with the dynamics that also matches the literal up and down of the music. So how that would look is, as we do the A major up, really aim towards that high G sharp. And then as you do the G sharp minor down, you're going to start at that same dynamic level, a bit louder, and then you're going to come down and make it softer. So not only does this add shape to the music and like top level musicality, for some people it also helps sort of frame, and having a direction helps with the passover between the hands to remove that hiccup that can sometimes happen. Now, I'm not being consistent with the pedal there, but you're practicing, you're playing around. Do this until you really like how it sounds. So your final exercise here and your final practice session for these 2 bars is basically put everything we just did together. You're going to use that dynamic wave. You're going of up and down and up and down, and you're going to really make that passover smooth, which makes that wave nice and smooth. And you're going to be consistent with the pedal, because now that pedal is going to hold that upper note in that upper voice. Ready to try? This is very similar to what you've already done. So now you're adding a little bit of complexity with the upper voice and the pedal, while also adding a bit of musicality. It'll be beautiful. You've got this. So a good technique side quest to go along with this, if you have a few moments at the piano to tootle around and you want to do something related to the music but not actually dive into the music itself, is just practicing that hand passover. And a great way to do that is just with triplet chords. Taking the idea of the main key of this piece, E major, we're just going to do a triplet, triplet up, triplet, triplet down. We've got a triplet in the left hand, passing to a triplet in the right hand of E major root position. And then we'll do the same thing going down, starting on the upper E there. And do this as one sweeping motion. And then try that again in the inversions. So we got first inversion. And then in second inversion. And also add the dynamic. Add that movement up and down in the dynamics, which will help give direction. All right, so I hope that sets you up with something to practice for this week. Have some fun with it. It's a short section, so short lesson. Next week we're going to dive into a beast of a section. I used to call this the tricky part, the tricky section. And yeah, there's a lot more meat to it. So have some fun with this one this week, and we'll see you again next week.